get into it. Grabbing the Brisket podcast, guys. Hey, we're running a few men short, few men down.
We're a few bricks shy of a wall.
Right. Yeah. Jan is Matt's home tending to a sick kid. Alex is holding down the.
He's running the tracks.
Yeah, he's holding down the railroad there. So, and Jan, who knows where? I know he told me where he was at, but he's flying off in, I would say Minnesota. It's definitely North Country or whatever. He says he likes it up there, but I can only imagine. What do you think he's doing right now?
Oh, freezing his junk off.
Do you think
it's cold here? It's probably really cold up there.
Do you think he's really freezing?
No, he's probably in a bar somewhere.
Over under, what are the odds? Like he's in a. I mean, it's work related, right? It's I have to go get a couple beers.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I'm with my coworkers. It's fine.
Oh yeah, odds are. Yeah, he's definitely partaking of some kind of adult beverage somewhere as we speak.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: when you get into a nice setting, do you try to? Well, I'm trying to think of the word. Do you try to make it your drink order just a little bit more sophisticated?
100%.
You're going to like going straight to the whiskey. Maybe you're getting like the.
Oh man, honestly, I only have like a couple of them in my my repertoire. I don't know that many fancy drinks. The only one I have is like an old fashioned, right? Like it's either I'm ordering a Coors Light or an old fashioned. So those are what I got.
Yeah, I get stuck in that boat as well because I'm just always like, yeah, it's a nice restaurant. I just can't just order a beer. They're just thinking I'm some dumb redneck just ordering a beer. Like, hey, do you have it in a can?
Exactly. Take a Coors Light in a can, please.
So I'm always going into like with the whiskey and Coke or the old fashions and then probably like a couple deep. And I'm like, why did I do that? Like
I don't know, man. Sometimes they're good. I mean, usually the first like 3 drinks, you're like, ooh, choking it down. Because at least for me, I don't drink whiskey that often. But once you've got one down and you're on your second one, it's like, all right, came on.
Then the magic happens.
I feel
the alcohol doesn't taste alcohol anymore.
No, I feel like that's some of the best drunk I can get is that old fashioned drunk.
Yeah, I just me and liquor. I guess we had like a falling out a while back. Like it just every time I got into it, and it's like I'm saying, I start drinking them, and then you start pouring them a little bit heavier, and you start pouring them a little bit more heavier, and then next thing you know, you're just whatever you're mixing with is just now that's getting lighter and lighter. Right. You know what I mean? So then it got to the point where it's like just right into the stomach, right into the bloodstream, and now I'm like, damn, I'm tanked. Like,
what happened
with beer? I can kind of just manage it. Yeah, I have a beer here or two, whatever, no big deal. But that liquor hits you like straight. But yeah, sorry,
you're right. No, you're right. And everyone gets a little bit stronger. So you have 4 beers, it's nothing. You have 4 drinks. By the 4th one, it's 80% alcohol, and you're shitty.
Yeah. So I'd imagine that's where Jan's at right now. Shitty.
Yeah, he's probably shitty.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we officially gotten to the season where everybody sends their chili pictures to Rich O'Toole.
I saw like 4 today.
Yeah. No beans in this one.
No beans.
Yeah. And for me, it's comical. I like seeing it because I actually don't eat beans.
Right.
So I actually prefer chili with no beans in it, but I don't really care if somebody has beans in it or they don't put beans in it or however they want to do it. You put 5 beans in it. Good for you, man. But I love the just poking the bear and just like.
He eats it up too. He loves it.
Oh, sure. Right? I think he has a T-shirt made or something like
that.
Does
he?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to get one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to get him on again. It's been like 2 years. It's been a minute since we've had him on.
Yeah. Well, I think he lives here local. Maybe we can get him one day swinging by Pearland. Maybe we can get him in studio.
In studio?
Rich O'Toole. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Okay. Well, speaking of getting drunk and getting shitty, not really chili related, but we went out this past weekend. We had a birthday.
Yes.
Alex's oldest.
Yeah.
Paisley, happy birthday. Actually, it was my son Maddox's birthday too. So happy birthday, Maddie.
He didn't get to go.
Nope. We were at a piano bar and they wouldn't let him in. He had to wait outside. Yeah. No, he did not come. But it was a fun time. I don't know if the listeners have been to any of these dueling piano bars. So it's much more fun than it sounds like.
Yeah. And okay, so my 2 cents, one of my two takeaways is I like it, but I don't like those places because I don't
call you out.
Right. I don't mind I don't want to be front row. I don't be front row Joe.
You learned that one, didn't you?
I learned that one. And I got into that. And literally I'm trying, I'm definitely the introvert and I'm trying to engage in with what's going on, all this song. So I was trying to think of a song. I was like, God dang it, I can think of the song, but I can't think of the artist. And I pull up my phone just to do a quick Google search of what the artist was, and all of a sudden it's like all the fucking pianos just stop, and they all just stare at me.
Like the screeching record.
Right. Look at this jackass on his phone. Like, oh, hey,
you
sorry.
Had a flashlight pointing at you.
Sorry to interrupt you. You know, everybody's having a good time. I'm like, oh, my goodness. And he's like, hey, by the way, why don't you just come up on stage? And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Fine, okay, I'll get up there. And then, of course, they, you make the mockery out of yourself, or whatever, you have a good time. Thank goodness they allow you to get a couple of drinks in before all those shenanigans start happening. But that's a fun. It's expensive. Like it is
expensive.
I mean, you just can't get out of there without spending like a couple of bills like per person
every time.
Yeah, and then once I think Jan, there's Jason, our buddy Jason. I think he bought like 14 shots. And I think Jan bought like 14 Jello shots. I'm like,
I bought a round of those too.
Oh yeah, and I'm like, okay. I mean, you guys are just taking out like second mortgages trying to get these drinks on. I'm like, dude, I'm good with my Coors Light, man, but nah. Yeah, but I think the one of the fun things that we had, they had an interactive TV.
Oh, that was new.
To where you can sit there and take pictures, and it'll flash up on all the TVs going all the way around this piano bar.
Yes.
And I think that was the most fun we had of the whole night. You know what I mean? It was great celebrating Paisley's birthday, and we all got to sing songs or whatever. But we put up Grabbing the Brisket logo up on the big
it was
screen.
up there on the screen, yeah. And there's quite a few screens in there. Mm-hmm. We were one of the first people in there, too, and I noticed it like almost immediately. So like one of the first pictures I put up there was of Hank, my golden doodle. So every 30 seconds or so, there's Hank on the big screen.
Yeah,
I was just cracking up. Maybe I was just drunk, and it was funny because I was drunk, probably, but it was funny as shit.
I don't know if they go through any type of censorship process.
Did not seem like it.
But I mean, you can probably just throw up some crazy stuff up there, and it would just get, blasted to everybody in that bar.
Yeah, I had a lot of pictures of Jan up there.
Yeah. A few pictures of my wife, like in very just weird poses. So she
knew I was taking a picture.
Yeah.
She was sticking her tongue out at me, and
but I mean, great time. We had. I think my head definitely did hurt the next morning. I'm not going to lie on that portion, but we got up. I think we did a little cooking. Nothing too major. I still need to get that Thor's hammer, that beef shank out of the.
We got to cook that.
Yeah, it's still in my freezer. So I think my plan is to go home tonight after we record here, bust it out, and then let that thaw for the weekend and try to get cooked on Saturday. So definitely a bunch of content coming your way. I'm going to do some Google searches. I think we talked about this before. It's like I'm going to treat it kind of like a brisket, but I need to figure out how I want to wrap this thing up. I was like, I don't really care about, you see them all just like cooked, just standing up in that position. I'm like, okay, I like that. But I'm like, when I go to wrap, I'm like, I don't know. I got to think about how I want to do that. I think you need to cook it as a brisket.
Pretty much, yeah. You need to smoke. And at some point, you do need to wrap it and braise it because it's going to, if you don't, I think it'll just dry out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you leave it standing up, but you just like maybe a double layer of foil and just kind of wrap it up around, you only got to go around the meat, right? Get it on there tight. Add a little bit of whatever you want to add in there for some juice to start, what do you call it?
Basing, I was using.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought about taking an aluminum foil pan and then on one end just kind of notch out just a little half circle on one end so that bone can kind of stick out and rest. And then I can just throw a layer of foil on top of that, and I can fill it up with beef broth and aromatics and all that type of stuff, and just let it go low and slow. I think that you have to go low and slow on those things. The hot and fast, I mean, yes, you'll get it to where it's pulling off the bone, but I don't think the meat really.
There's too much shit in there. It needs to break down.
Too many like collagens and stuff like that, because this is part of what the arm, the shoulder, somewhere in
the
this
leg
region,
the legial region.
Whatever the scientific cow term is, the legumes. I'd imagine it's a muscle that's worked pretty heavily, so it's going to have some type of tenderization going on.
Are you going to do it on the drum, or are you going to do it on the offset?
I'm going to do it on the drum.
Okay. And that's the only thing. I was like, is it going to be too tall if you stand it up on the drum? I don't know how much space there is, so you may have to find a way to do it laying down.
Yeah, I think I might just lay it down and just rotate it ever so often. and just try to get a nice color going all the way around.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I know
Delicious.
people put like red wine and stuff in there when they braise them. I don't know. I'd never really cooked with wine, but
yeah, I mean, we did so Halloween a while back. We did. Jan brought some steaks. Typically, we do some hot dogs, and either friends, neighbors, people stopping by. Oh, here's a hot dog. So we do hot dog and chili or whatever. So Jan went and bought a couple steaks as well, and so he's like, "Hey, I want to try." I didn't have the Vac Master ready to go. He's like, "I want a Vac Master." I'm like, kids are showing up trick or treating. I don't have time to bust that out. So he's like, "Okay." So he did a red wine, soy sauce type marinade on one of the steaks that he did, and the other one we went just typical dry brine seasoning. Not really dry brine because we didn't let it go that long, but just I did the Bad Byron's butt rub, and I think Goldie's all-purpose with a little Worcestershire sauce as a binder, and man, that was delicious. I mean, the red wine marinade was delicious as well. I don't know which one was my favorite. They were both equally good. The red wine just had a little bit of more subtle, just like nuance, little notes to it.
A little fanciness.
Yeah. So I was like,
You can always taste it, the fancy.
Yeah.
Well, so the steaks came out good is what you're telling me?
Steaks is good. Hot dogs were a complete flop. I
Really?
think.
You just forget about them?
No. I mean, we cooked them and did them. Just like nobody really wanted a hot dog.
Losers. What's wrong with people?
Right. Yeah. So trick-or-treating was cool. Dude, I scared the shit out of kids.
Such a jerk.
I know, I'm horrible. Like, I wasn't trying to, and I think there's a lot of friendly fire where I was like trying to get like some older kids, and there were some little kids there with them as well. And man, they just scared the shit right out of them.
Crying. Were you making them cry?
I wasn't trying to. But, so this is what we did. We set up. Michael Myers.
Something different.
So I got the outfit on, and I'm in my front yard, and the front yard's kind of dimly lit, and I have a extension cord going in one hand, and I have my hand tucked all the way to where you can't see my hand in it, and then the other one's kind of like tucked. I had a glove on it, and so then I'm like in the front yard stiff, and then I'm just like doing the mannequin, just like I'm a robot out there, and nobody really can tell, and then people are just walking by like, "Oh, Michael Myers," and finally, our neighbor, he came over, Jay, said, "Hey, man, the new little robot that we got." He's like, go check it out. Go take a picture with it. And people are like, "Oh, cool, badass." And they're over there getting behind me and just like sitting there taking a picture. And I'm just like,
put your arms around them.
Like, "Hey, how's it going?" They're like, "Oh, shit." Or I'm doing this number, and little girl, dude, I felt bad. She was probably like 8. And he was like, "Go ahead, yeah, shake his hand." And I'm going up like this right here. And all of a sudden she grabs my hand. I was like, "How's it going?" She fell down. She fell down to the ground, and she started screaming. I was like, "Holy shit." I ripped my mask off. I was like, I'm sorry. And she was hysterically laughing by that point. I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't feel so bad."
Oh, man, you're such a jerk.
I love it, dude. Every year, that's what I look forward to.
Oh, man.
But it's not Halloween. It's on to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh, we had a good Halloween, too. We did the full-size candy bars at our house. We were that house. So went through like 200 candy bars in like, I don't know, an hour and a half or something. So we don't have that many houses in our neighborhood, so I don't know what the hell happened there. So
I see. They think that's a rich neighborhood. So
that's what happened. I think so, because there was definitely people coming in, cars parked, and I was like, "What is happening? We don't have this many people in our neighborhood." And it was bustling a little bit.
Dang.
So
all right.
It was a thing. I don't know if y'all want to roll through sometime, but
maybe I got to hit your house up.
Like them big candy bars.
Yeah.
I came back because I took the kids. We had the golf cart just rolling around, letting them do their thing. Came back and there wasn't shit left in the bucket, but like she bought like one bag of the small candies. That's what was left. I was like, "This is some bullshit." Like, where's the Reese's?
Yeah, no, I'm right there in the same boat because we combined 3 houses together. And just like 3 buckets of candy, and the kids walk up just like, "Ooh, some from here, some from here, some from here." And by the end of the night, I'm like, I'm kind of like on a diet a little bit. And I was like, well, I might just sneak a little whatever. And I'm like,
something.
Where's the candy at? Where's the candy at? I mean, seriously, I'm like, where's it at? And it's like there's a bucket, and there's like the shitty candy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the penny candy that's still left. I'm like, where's the
lifesavers?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I don't need a breath, man. I need some chocolate or something like that. But it was all going in that moment. It's like, okay, I don't actually need it. So I'm going to bed. I'll go buy my own candy tomorrow.
But
Assholes.
you won't. You
No,
won't.
I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Emma, my youngest, she didn't go trick or treating, so she didn't have her candy haul that I can just dispose of.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just take it to work so I could just dispose of and just give it to everybody. That didn't happen.
Dang it. So she's done. She's done.
I think so. She dressed up.
Okay. Well, that's good.
She just didn't want to go around, so I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess it is what it is. I still got 2 of them that are in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Did you see any? No, we'll get off Halloween. I don't know what we got stuck on that. Let's let's go into the barbecue news, man. I don't know if I'm hitting you too early with that, but
no, I think I can do that.
Let's keep this thing going.
The Hot Off the Grill barbecue news. I'm John Laterbo. Here's what we got. Barbecue News Magazine, our partner for this little thing we do. They're doing a free sample issue right now. If you guys haven't checked out the Barbecue News Magazine, that's available. Go to barbecuenews.com, get yourself a free sample issue. Fall in love and subscribe. Speaking of them, they have a new, I don't know what it's called. It's another publication. It's called The Future of Q. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but some of the youngsters in the barbecue, the Riley Wrights, the Cadence of the world, have come together, and they're doing their own publication through Barbecue News Magazine. Lots of recipes and stuff like that. But they're doing a giveaway right now on their website, futureofq.com. I'll put links for all this down below so you guys don't have to remember any. I don't want you guys trying to write down any of this stuff while you're driving to work. So there's going to be a link. You can go back and look at it in a minute. A little recap stuff. Blue Smoke Blaire is having her event January 19th through the 21st. That class, Barbecue Legends, we talked about this a couple times already. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. There's still a link below. You can get signed up for that. We will be there one of the days. So get signed up. Come hang out with us. Eat some badass food. And maybe learn a thing or two. Also, the NBBQA Awards of Excellence. We talked about this one too. There's a link below. Get yourself signed up. Whatever it is barbecue related, there's a competition for it. And they'll be handing out those awards at the NBBQA banquet, which is at the...
it's in San Antonio?
Yeah, in San Antonio at the big NBBQA conference. So we'll be at that one too. So get into all these things. And then the last thing I got here is the Barbecue News Magazine's Rubs of Honor winners. I don't know if you saw they announced the winners for that.
I did not.
There's a lot of them. I'm not going to name them all. Maybe I'll just name the first place for each category. First place in beef was Desert Sand by Hedgehog Barbecue. Never heard of them. Yeah, probably need to try them. Yeah. Pork was first place was Chef's Beef Rub by Burger Chef Rubs and Sauces. Some of these guys got to work on the names, I think, but
little mouthy.
Yeah, there's a lot of words, is what it is. And then for seafood, Rick's Rub by Fogel Bottling Company was first place in seafood. And then in chicken, you might recognize this name, the Pork and Rub seasoning by Blazing Star Barbecue.
Congratulations, Mike.
Big Mike, yeah. So, and there's a whole lot more. They listed, I think, the top 10 in each category. There was a lot of entries. And I'll put a link for that, too, if you guys want to go and see. Maybe you entered. Maybe you just want to find a new rub. And you can do that there. Down below, there's going to be a link for it.
Okay. My one question is, is there an age limit on the kids, the future Q?
Are you trying to be a future of Q?
I mean, I could be, right? Are you saying I'm in the present or I'm in the past?
You're the history of Q.
Right. No. Well, I'm not trying to go backwards. I'm trying to go forwards, John. Can we get that publication where we're in the future?
Okay.
It's the prime.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Back to the future. Back to the future of Q. That's where I'm going to be.
Now to sports with James. Anyways, that's what we got for the Hot Off the Grill barbecue news. All right, I guess we'll pay some bills here from one of our friends in the Oddpods Media Network, and I think Frank has something he wants to tell us about, or a question he wants to answer, or something like that. So
let's go, Frank.
You know, smoking meats isn't just cooking; it's an art form. The aroma, those deep flavors, the patience. It's a whole experience.
And behind every great artist, there's the right set of tools. If you're aiming to build your own barbecue pit or dreaming of a custom design tailored just for you, SmokerBuilder.com has your back.
Led by Frank Cox, their expertise is unmatched. Offering blueprints, kits, and insights, they turn every barbecue dream into a flavorful reality.
Imagine your backyard, the center of attention, and at the heart of it, a smoker that's uniquely yours.
It's more than just equipment. It's about crafting those unforgettable moments, and with the guidance of Frank and his team, you're setting the stage for magic.
So whether you're a seasoned pit master or taking your first steps into the smoky world,
head over to SmokerBuilder.com, fill up your carts, and be sure to use the promo code GRABTHEBRISKET in all caps to receive your 10% discount. Smoke on.
threw down some ribs last night, used the Chicks That Smoke spicy rub, mind blown.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like the Chicks That Smoke spicy barbecue all-purpose rub, dude, it is a game changer for sure.
Yeah, if you folks have not given it a shot, you need to.
Honestly, your barbecue will thank you.
Chicks That Smoke, it's at SUCKLEBUSTERS.com.
You know, whether it's a casual backyard grilling session or high-pressure world barbecue competition, one thing's certain. The drink by your side needs to be ice cold.
Absolutely, and that's where Yeti coolers come in. Every time I'm grilling in my backyard, I trust Yeti to keep things cold.
And in the midst of barbecue competitions, with all that heat and intensity, Yeti's a game changer, ensuring those drinks stay chilled.
So whether you're perfecting the burger flip or aiming for barbecue gold, Yeti's got your back. Here's to cooler moments, no matter where you grill.
Cheers.
Hey, you there. We've got a question for you. Are you tired of clickbait stories and the loudest voices driving discussions in culture and entertainment?
If so, I'm Dylan.
I'm Kendall.
And I'm Corey. And we host the podcast From the Middle. We're middle-class guys living in the middle of America, in the middle chapters of our lives with points of view somewhere in the middle.
We take a more reasonable and centrist approach in our discussions covering genres like comedy, culture, entertainment, and interviews with really interesting folks like business owners, comic creators, doctors, news anchors, New York Times best-selling illustrators, professional stand-up comics, and more. We really value a relaxed and conversational podcast, one that we hope is so fun and laid back, you'll forget you're not actually hanging out with us.
So search at From the Mid Pod, just like it sounds, or check us out everywhere you can find podcasts.
And now it's time for Frank Knows What's Wrong With It. As always, send in your questions to 434-829-2299 or shoot us an email at info@grabtheminthebrisket.com.
Hey guys, I'm Frank Cox. I'm the barbecue pit engineer, and this is another episode of Frank Knows What's Wrong With It. So each week I answer your questions on the Grab 'em in the Brisket podcast. Send your questions into the Brisket Boys. I'm glad to answer them for you. On this episode, we're going to talk about linseed oil. So I've been getting some questions about people that have black paint on their smoker. This is a very high-end smoker behind me, but they have black paint, and the paint burns off or flakes off or whatever. And it's just such a pain in the rear to get that paint to look right again. And so the question is, what do I do about paint whenever it's starting to flake off and burn off? Is there something I can do? And my recommendation is going to be to linseed oil it. So here's kind of why I recommend that. Whenever you hit this cooker behind me, like if the paint starts to go over a number of years and starts to dull out or get scratched up or anything like that, it's going to be easy just to wipe right over it with some linseed oil, and that color will actually kind of bleed in with the rest of it. But also that linseed oil will build up a protective layer on the surface of this paint and let it go for a long time. So all you got to really do is scrape all of the flaking paint off the firebox or wherever the damage is. Get it really good and clean from anything that you don't want on it. You could literally sand it a little bit and dab a little paint on there. But once that paint dries, or if you decide not to paint it, just wipe linseed oil on there, burn a good hot fire, and that'll actually cure that oil on the surface of your pit. And then as it burns, if you use boiled linseed oil, the more fires you burn, the darker that oil's gonna cure. And it'll wind up looking like an iron skillet when you're done. There you go, you got your black paint back. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody. If you have any questions about, barbecue related equipment, issues with cooking, anything like that, send them into the Brisket Boys and I'd be glad to answer your questions for you. Until next time, keep your smoke thin and blue. This is Frank Cox from Smoker Builder. I'm the barbecue pit engineer, and we'll see you.
Thank you, Frank. You guys want to send in your questions for Frank, that's 434-829-2299, or you can send us an email, info@grabtheminthebrisket, or of course any of the social medias. We're all over the place. We're even on Reddit now, and we're not getting suspended for 3 days at a time for spamming.
Yeah, that was John's over
spammer.
spamming everybody in
I'm a
the
spammer now.
yeah.
Don't mind me. Anyways, yeah. So we're on all the social medias too. So sending your questions for Frank.
Yeah, and when you say we're on social medias, it means John's on social medias.
James is too sometimes.
James is there, so that's primarily who you're going to get to speak
That's
with.
true.
Was John and James. So
when you see like us talking shit about the Cowboys or basically that,
That's all
you
John.
know what's happening.
that's all John.
You know what it is.
But hey, this episode's all about Turkey Day. We're diving into the world of cooking turkey for your loved ones on Thanksgiving. So there's many ways. There's a whole lot of ways. There's a whole lot of different turkeys out there that you can pick and choose from. So we thought we'd go into it, especially right here before Thanksgiving, and hopefully give you guys a couple of tips and tricks for you guys out there fixing to search out your little turkey. And we'll go into a little bit about how we cook our turkeys a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I know John does a little bit different. I think over the years you kind of like, I don't know if you get not lazy, but you try to find the easiest like method. You know what I mean? Something that works out for you and your family. Like it always kind of changes because we've always done the fried turkeys,
Mm-hmm.
and they've always came out great. But I'll be honest, like half the bird is kind of unusable. You know what I mean?
That's the thing with it, right?
That's the
like,
problem. Like the legs, the thighs,
it's gonna get overcooked.
they're so overcooked that you're really just diving into the actual the breast meat, and even that sometimes can be a little dry.
Yeah, it's really hard to dial it in when you're deep frying something like that.
It's tasty. Not gonna lie. I
Right.
mean, it's
Well,
tasty
it's
as all
deep fried,
get.
so.
Deep fried. I love that. Love that shit. So the last couple of years we deep fry one, and then we'd spatchcock one. So we had one on the Weber. And that way we would have one that was like, oh, okay, this is the one we sit there and get our nice juicy pieces of meat, the one we're going to have like leftover and stuff like that. All right, so before we dive into turkeys, let's talk a little bit of, I got a few like little turkey facts.
Turkey tips,
strange bits of information. I don't know. TV dinner origins. I think we've discussed this once before on the
Sounds
podcast, maybe
vaguely
last
familiar.
year. So the concept of TV dinners is said to have come from Thanksgiving mishap. In 1953, someone at Swanson misjudged the number of frozen turkeys that it would sell at Thanksgiving by 26 tons. That's
6 tons?
That's going to get somebody fired, right?
What's the math on that?
I don't know. Somebody.
I don't know.
Do the math, and I'll go on. So the company decided to slice up the meat and then repackage it with trimmings on the side. Thus, the first TV dinner was born.
So they had a shit ton of extra turkey and decided,
Just cooked it,
all right.
put some sides together with it, and slapped it into a TV dinner tray. So,
Well, yeah, okay. So if we're talking about 15-pound turkeys, that's about almost 3,500 extra turkeys. If they're 15 pound. I don't know what the average turkey weight is. I feel like 15 to 18, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how big a turkey is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, the Great Thanksgiving Cranberry Scare of 1959. Some of the stuff, it's before the internet.
Right, so things got scary easier or what?
Something spreads, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, so weeks before Thanksgiving in 1959, the Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare announced that some of the cranberry crop was contaminated with a weed killer that caused cancer. This led to a nationwide scare with many foregoing cranberry sauce for their Thanksgiving dinners.
Oh, brother. That's just like, how long did it take? Like, this pre-internet. How long did it take for the news to scare people? It's 59. I guess there's.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had papers rolling around, so
yeah. There's probably TV news, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think what news was like invented in the 70s or something, John?
I have no idea. It's all before my time. I'm not as old as you.
They had black and white like TV news anchors, like.
What?
I'm talking about the television, John.
Yes, I'm Ron Burgundy.
Exactly. All right, let's get on to turkey talk.
Yeah. So you're right. There's a ton of ways to do it. There's obviously there's the smoking method. There's the frying method. I know I see you doing a lot of just the breast assist without the whole bird.
Dude, that's my favorite. And I think this episode will probably drop like maybe the week before Thanksgiving or somewhere in that area. And maybe we'll put something out sooner for the people. Yeah, go by your HEB, go by your grocery store, and I think it's Honeysuckle that puts it out there. You can just buy just a 5-pound turkey breast just by itself. It has the skin on, it's deboned, and that's my favorite way to smoke a turkey bacon. This is basically the same turkey that you're getting at all these barbecue restaurants.
Yeah.
It's super easy to cook. It always comes out just tender, juicy, flavorful. You can put whatever barbecue rubs you want on it. You can do injections, however you want to play it up. I usually just keep it simple. You have the whole Texas method where it's just salt and pepper or whatever. But usually I do a little Byron's bad Byron's butt rub on it, and I'll throw a little pepper on there as well. Smoke it for like maybe an hour or so, and then once it gets enough color, I'll just take some butter and then throw it into a full wrap and wrap it up, and I'll put a probe in it. And once it reaches 160 internal, pull it. I mean, it's probably depends on how hot you have your smoker set up, but it could take anywhere from like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, and you're done. Now you have this like 5-pound turkey breast, and I do it like all throughout the year.
I was going to say, I know you do this all year long.
It's so much more economical for you to do that than going to the deli to get rip off a pound of that boar's head.
And it's meat. Not like loaded with freaking salt and nitrates and all that other shit.
Correct, yeah. And then it's like,
so
okay,
much better.
If you want to make buffalo flavor, you'll make buffalo flavor. If you want to do cracked black pepper, it's endless. And I'll just get it. I don't have a slicer, but I'll just get my slicing knife out and just try to cut it as thin as possible.
Slicer.
Yeah. And my kid's like, she's got to the point where she's like, she requests it now. Like, she doesn't like the store-bought deli
It's always
meat
good.
because it's very just loaded with, I'm going to say the nitrites, but you get that very deli
Tastes
meat.
like salty meat juice, like not good.
I don't know. Sometimes I rolled by there the other day, and I was like, and I'm not knocking on HEB. I mean,
we love HEB.
We love HEB, but and they have one of these standalone coolers that is like in the middle that has all these like pre-cut deli meats already out. And I'm looking at them, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to find the flavor I want, but and it's cold. Everything's cold, but I'm looking at every bag, and every bag just has like a little just quarter of like meat juice that's just hanging out in the bag. And it's just not just the one bag. And I'm like, I don't remember them putting meat juice when I get meat over there. So what is this? And I was like, I'm not going to attempt to even purchase that stuff. Maybe there's something going wrong. Maybe it's not held at the right temperature. I don't know. My guts aren't going to risk that at all. But
test it out.
No, yeah, no, definitely. I was like, hey, Laura, does this taste funny? Yeah, exactly. But it's something I do all the time. And last Thanksgiving, I went and bought one or two. But prior to Thanksgiving, because these things will sell out fast, and I threw it in the freezer, and then about a week prior to the Thanksgiving, I pulled it out, let it thaw, good to go. But other than that, we'll go the spatchcock version of it, and then that is my second favorite way to cook a turkey. Yeah. I think that's now it's starting to become a little bit more prevalent.
Yeah, it's pretty mainstream.
People know what that is.
If you cook barbecue at all, you know about spatchcock.
Yeah, I still get that. I still get that like that person at work. I still get that. Maybe my boss. Hey Ron, if you listen to this, he was like, I think he did a chicken. He's like, yeah, man, no, maybe it was another coworker. He's like, I cooked this chicken. It turned out badass. It was so good. He's like, and what I did is you take your shears and you cut the back bone off of it, and then you turn around, you make it flat, and then you cook it that way. And I'm like,
do you roll with it, or do you call them on like, yeah, it's called spatchcock?
I was like, oh, do you mean spatchcocking? They're like, what? It's like, oh yeah, spatchcocking. Yeah, no, I mean that's the terminology with the truth. I don't like being an asshole. Like, I was like, why don't you go put some more wood chips on it, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I hate on wood chips, because I mean I used to use wood chips a lot.
It is what it is.
But I'm like, it's not to go on a different story, but it's just like mulch, right? It's just like you're just burning mulch, and it just tastes. I don't.
It's so readily accessible.
It is.
Go out to the yard.
Just small chips of wood. And I'm like, those got to burn. And but then they're like, oh, we'll soak it in wood to make it smolder longer. And I'm like, just buy bigger chunks of wood.
Yeah.
But
Soak it in water.
soak it in water.
Yeah.
So that's my two preferred methods to cooking turkeys. But I know even before that, you can get into the whole, what kind of turkey do I get? I mean, because you roll in there, like me personally, I get that, not really anxiety. It's like, oh, I'm going to pick up a bird, and you get there, and there's like 40 different brands, and there's like 40 different styles, and you're just like, which one's the cheapest? Yeah. Oh, I get a free ham with this one, so that's the one I'm going to go with. But it's like, it really depends on what you're trying to do with that bird.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Because a lot of these birds become like they come pre-brined, right?
So yeah, if you get one that's pre-brined, you want to be careful how you brine that sucker. If you're going to brine or inject.
Yeah, because you could be like eating a salt block because you're like, oh, I'm going to brine this thing for 28 hours or 48 hours.
It's already been brining for months, so
it is, yeah. So and then you got your organic ones that they really don't contain any of the type of solution, so you definitely got to put a little flavor into it.
But you need to refinance your house to be able to purchase one too.
Yeah, what are those like $60 birds or something like that? Yeah, and then you'll mess them up. You'll mess it up. You'll mess it up. It's like you always every year. You go through this like it's not just Thanksgiving, but when you have these pre-planned family events or catering or whatever it is, and you set a time limit or a timetable when you're supposed to be eating.
Oh, it never works. It
never works out, and you get up to an hour before or 2 hours before, and you're doing the math, and it's like
your bird's at 110. You're like, what the.
You don't want to say anything. You're like, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, no, it's good. It's good.
You're cranking up that heat.
Right. You're just praying to God, like the meat gods that, okay, all of a sudden you probe and it's like, done. You're like, oh, thank goodness. But you do it every year. So that one of the best pieces of advice, you got to pre-plan this shit out. You got to give yourself enough time. And if you cook your bird way early and it gets done, that's fine. Get yourself a little cooler, let it vent a little bit. Wrap it up, throw it in the cooler, and just let it chill out and let it just
get it done early.
Get it done early. Yeah. Do not fight the. I mean,
don't be that guy.
Yeah, then you're going to end up on the barbecue fail of our podcast, and then but shit, you might win yourself a smoker or a
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, for sure. So definitely look and see if it's brined or not. And it's not necessarily going to say on the package brined. It might say in a solution of whatever % salt or whatever the hell it says on there. But yeah, look out for that for sure. And you're right, spatchcock is the way to go. If you're not going to do just the breast, spatchcock it. It's so much better than doing it whole. You're going to get a more even cook. Last year I did, it wasn't actually for Thanksgiving. I think it was before Thanksgiving. I was just playing around with some turkeys or whatever, but I did split like we would do for like a competition with the chickens. You did split it in half. And it came out great too. You can do that too, but the presentation obviously is not. It's not the same, right? Like people want to see the whole bird. Another thing you could do if you're going to do for a lot of people, maybe just do a smaller bird, and then do yourself a couple of the breasts on the side, because I feel like a lot of people want that white meat anyway. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think a lot of people they want to go for that wow factor, right? They're feeding like 4 or 5 people, but then they go buy like a freaking 20-pound bird, or you know what I mean?
Right.
That's going to take like hours to cook. You know what I mean? So
not necessary.
I think you when selecting your bird, size matters depending on what you're going to do with it, how you're going to cook it. More specifically, if you're going to fry it, you don't want to go over a certain poundage when you go to fry this thing, like 12 to 15 pounds max. It really just can, because a lot of the commercial pots that you get with these turkey fryer kits or whatever it is, they're not equipped to hold like a 20-pound bird.
Right.
Even if you do, it's going to take, what is it, like 3 minutes per pound? I got to go back.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so somebody looked at, get a chance to look that up, see how long. I think it's 3 minutes per pound.
For frying?
So for frying. So if you had a 20-pound bird, what's the math on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll circle back.
We'll circle back.
Circumvent that one.
So a few little tips and tricks. And some of these may be kind of generic, but we can just touch on it a little bit if we want to. Indirect grilling. Preheat your grill to about 325 degrees to mimic the oven roasting process. Now, I know it's always kind of hard to jump in there as far as setting a grill to a certain temperature. So if you get it at 350, 375, 300, you're probably golden. It just may just take a little bit longer, or it may cook a little bit quicker.
So were you asking for a 20-pound bird, how long it would take?
Yeah, what's the temperature? What's the time wise on frying a turkey? I know they have there's a guideline for
so many minutes per
so
pound
many
or
minutes
something.
per pound.
Okay, so what it says here on it says a 20-pound turkey would take 4 hours and I guess 25 minutes. Does that sound about right?
That would probably be in the oven.
To the oven.
Okay,
yeah.
and that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading here.
Yeah.
So you're saying fried?
Fried.
Yeah, if you do like a deep fried turkey. Yeah.
Okay, so it says it could take about 30 minutes per pound when you do that's a smoking portion of it. So it says maintaining a low and slow approach when you go smoke a turkey, 225 to 250, and you're looking at about 30 minutes per pound.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do low and slow necessarily with the turkey. Like you said, I think you're better off. I mean, I guess you could start it out at like 250 or something, but I think you want to
dry it out.
Yeah, it's gonna take that long. It's gonna dry out. It's not gonna be good. I think you need to cook that sucker at like you said, 325-ish or something in there, maybe even 350. Cook that sucker a little hotter. I think get yourself a little crisp to the skin.
I love it.
That's what I think.
Yeah, and if you are doing it indirectly on your Weber or indirectly on a drum smoker or what have you, go ahead and throw a tinfoil pan underneath your bird, catch all those drippings. It's like, one, you can use it to make gravy, or two, you can use it to save your grill from just getting all just caked with all this grease and shit, because it's going to drop a lot of juice everywhere.
Get them gizzards out too.
And the bag.
Get the little bag out too. I don't know if you've been there, but I've definitely been there. Pretty sure we've had some barbecue fail stories about that. I don't know. Brining or injecting? You have a preference, or you do both?
We do both. Like, I think lately we've been doing the brining. I like the brining method of it, and then we'll come back and do a little. I used to do the Tony Sacheries. I kind of got away from that just because it just, I don't know, for some reason that's just not hitting my palate like what I want. That it's just that salad dressing-y Tony's,
Yeah, a little
oily type flavor, the butter, Creole butter. So, but what I've really been kind of digging is just getting some of these poultry injections, as far as like some of the stuff that we use in our competitions, whether it's the Lucky Charms foul play. That's what I used lately. Take a little bit of that and then mix in a little. You can go in some squeeze butter, some margarine, whatever, something that's a little bit softer, and get that whipped around, and then get you an injector that can pull up some of that's a little bit thicker, and then inject that into the meat. Oh, dude, so good.
Yeah, his stuff, it really is. It's good. It's on another level.
Yep.
I know Hey Girl Hey has a whole turkey kit out there now too. So I haven't got to try her stuff. I have tried some of her stuff, but not her turkey kit.
Yeah.
I know she sells out every year. So
Yeah, Lane's has a turkey brining kit as well.
Okay.
So we tried that. I think that was probably one of the first like turkey brine kits that I've tried, and it's good. I mean, I love all the Lane's, like
he's got such
the
good shit.
signature blend, and
So
then also
good.
the brisket rub that he has. I mean, I'm not a fan of the ancho coffee, but that's just me. I'm just hating on that.
That might be one of my most memorable interviews we ever had. I don't remember a lot of what we talked about. I do remember him saying, "Hey, I got to go. I'll be back in a bit." He came back and said, "Sorry, my restaurant was on fire."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, what?" That was crazy. Craziness. Anyway, so and there's I guess if you wanted to get fancy, you could try out the old frog chicken method on the turkey. I don't know how that would look on your centerpiece of your Thanksgiving dinner, but
yeah, I can only imagine.
yeah.
Like, sure looks good, Clark. You know what I mean? No, actually, I think it'd be Cousin Eddie that'd be cooking the frog.
right.
This homemade ketchup, Eddie. Yeah. And Christmas is right around the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know when you start jamming out on the Christmas music, but you wait until after Thanksgiving, after the turkey's put away before.
Yeah,
I think think you could just get bombarded with it, right? I think it's just a barrage.
It's a lot.
You turn on the radio. I mean, I listen to a lot of Spotify and a lot of like either satellite, so you get to pick and choose what you want to listen to. But yeah, you go to the stores, you just it's automatically going.
Yeah, I did see some. I mean, well, for the last month now, I've been seeing some Christmas stuff out, but I've seen a bunch out today at Walmart. I was like, man, like they did not waste any time. They pulled down that Halloween candy and put up the Christmas candy. It's everywhere, but I haven't heard any music yet. I know I'm not as into the Christmas music as you are, but I mean, it's coming. I'm sure it's coming soon. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm already jamming it. So
I figured you were.
There it is.
I was waiting for that.
There's houses everywhere that's already lit up, with all the Christmas decorations and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay.
My guy was putting lights up today, so
got to get into the mood there. I don't think we really touched much on the deep frying a turkey, as opposed to how long you got to cook it at. I think it comes down to about 3 minutes per pound is what we did last time. So if you go a 20-pound brisket or even bigger than that, it's going to take so long for that internal temperature to hit that temperature mark that you need. The outside is just going to be so dry and it's going to be burnt and all that stuff like that. So yeah, try to stick with the like 10, 15-pound bird. If you got to do 2 of them, do 2 of them.
That's what I was going to say. Like if you need that much turkey, just do 2. It's going to cook more evenly. It's just going to be better.
Yeah, and I made this year something that I didn't really even think of, but what about just go ahead and just cutting the wings off, cutting the legs and thighs off, and then frying those separately?
I thought about that too. I was literally thinking about that today. Like, how come we don't just like break this sucker down and cook it?
Yeah, then you can pull it out when it's perfectly good in the legs, and then you can do the breast separately, and everything would turn out great. But yeah. I don't know. Why we don't do that?
Why don't we do that, Raul?
Hey, my max at the cooking is the TV dinners y'all was talking about. Man. That's it. That's all I got.
What's your preference? Do you like fried turkey, smoked, just regular traditional roasted in the oven?
Free.
Yeah.
All the above.
I actually like those too.
I do too. Yeah.
Free food is the best food. Maybe we need to bring in some turkey or something before Thanksgiving that we cooked up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, quit talking about it and do it, man.
Right? Every couple of weeks we talk about, hey, we should bring in some food.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, he's holding off on dinner every week.
Every time we walk in, he's like looking, just like, just carrying that stupid cooler. Yeah.
But
hey, there's 100 different ways that you can cook a turkey. Do a lot of research. Hey, one thing: don't put a frozen bird into your hot oil grease.
Don't do that.
That's how you hurt people, and that's how you lose your house and all that. You get the fire department called on you and all that good stuff.
Hey, but if you do, call in that barbecue fail.
Yeah, you'll win yourself a bottle of rub for your troubles and heartaches.
But seriously, all those cooks that you do, all your turkey cooks and whatnot, and whatever else you do for Thanksgiving, take some pictures, post them, send them to us, tag us in it, whatever it is. We want to see it. We'll if we get enough of them together, maybe we'll make a little slideshow and share it after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, maybe we'll do another segment of instead of the brisket professors, we can do the turkey professors.
This is Turkey Talk with James and John.
Oh, that's weird. That's a horrible idea that I just came up with. Yeah. Throw that in a trash roll.
Look at the breastises on that one. All right. Well, that's enough turkey talk. Let's slide into that grabbing a brisket beer review. That's a hell of a duet. I think we need more people here. What do we got, James?
All right. Let me get this thing poured up a little bit.
This is dark. I'm going to say that right now.
Definitely looks like motor oil. Okay, so this one is called the Dream Eater. We're looking at a double stout with cinnamon crunch cereal, coffee, vanilla, and milk sugar.
Dream Eater.
Not really sure what milk sugar is. Is that the stuff that's left on the bottom of the bowl when you eat cereal?
I think it's like breast milk.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's what they're using there.
The can looks pretty cool from the camera point angle.
Yeah, it's pretty. I like the artwork on it.
Is that an anteater on there? What is that? It has tusks. I don't know what the hell that is. I guess that's a Dream Eater. Yeah, it's a cool can. Burlington Beer Company. And let's see. This is 8% alcohol by volume, 1 pint. And it's from Vermont.
Vermont. What are they called? A collective of Vermonts.
What?
People from Vermont.
A collective of them?
Like Texans.
Oh, yeah. They're Vermontians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vermontians. I like that. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Do we know any fun facts about Vermont?
Maple syrup. Oh, this tastes like cold coffee.
It does taste like kind of like a cold brew.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not hating it, but
Yeah, it's not awful. It's just I guess I was expecting, I don't know, some sweetness in there. I guess with the cinnamon, vanilla, and the milk sugar. It tastes like.
yeah, maybe we should just sip on it for a minute and just let this.
Marinate.
Yeah.
It burns the nostrils.
Hey, Roll, can you look up and see if you can find anything about this brewery?
Or maybe some Vermont fun facts.
Yeah, this is a Burlington Beer Company.
Famous people from Vermont. Who do y'all got?
Bradley Cooper, obviously.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Will Smith.
Wait, are you just making these up?
Yes.
I was like, wait, I don't see either one of those names.
100% making
Yeah,
it
okay.
up. Yeah.
Who we got?
We got Billy the Kid,
Okay.
Bernie Sanders.
All right. Yeah, Bernie.
Is he still around?
Yeah, I think he's doing his best impression of Weekend of the Bernies.
Yeah, he is. Let me check out some fun facts.
That was it. Just a couple of criminals.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Billy the Kid died here in, well, no, I guess he was born. Well, maybe, he's buried here in Texas. I think he's buried in just outside of Waco. I think it's a town called Hico.
Heiko?
Hico. Hico.
Wait, that's the wrong. I said the wrong Billy the Kid.
There's two Billy the Kids?
Yeah, this is Billy the Kid, a former World Cup ski racer. So my apologies.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep. Never heard of them. So they really don't have a lot of famous people from Vermont.
Well, they got to have a couple, right?
Yeah, this beer is very okay to me.
I mean, I'm loving it. I'm like, I don't know.
Loving it?
Yeah, I'm not.
Bro, you don't even like coffee. It tastes like coffee. I don't understand.
I think there's certain
fine.
coffee things that I like, and there's certain coffee things that I don't like. But
It's okay. It's just okay for me. I mean, it's not bad. At least it's, I don't know. It has a good bitterness to it. It's not super boozy, which for 8% is kind of impressive considering the only other flavor is coffee. And it looks thick, but it doesn't really taste thick. It doesn't feel thick, I guess you could say.
yeah, very, very light in the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
I guess you would say.
Yeah, the mouth feels light.
Yeah. We're just coming up with all different types of scientific knowledge, scientific terms about drinking beer.
Right. Can you put up some beer adjectives on the board here for us?
Right. So I immediately want to go back to Saloon Door. I want to go back to some of those just stouts that we've scored pretty high. A lot of them had kind of a peanut butter note to it. It was always kind of a chocolate peanut butter. This definitely has a little bit more, more just straight up coffee. And I love it. I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss for me. I guess I would say kind of in the middle of the road.
I'm going to write my score down so I don't let you sway me here.
Just blind. I bet you're probably going to be in the 6s.
I'm not telling you until you tell me. So, yeah, it's all right. It's pretty okay.
I think I like it because it's, like you said, it's very just smooth. I definitely don't feel like you're drinking an 8% alcohol beer. And if you're a coffee lover, I know you're a coffee lover, but I think it hits my notes. But
spit it out, James.
okay.
See, now you're already swaying me. I already feel like I want to change my score. I gave it a 6.5. This is it's good. It's good. I wouldn't buy it probably, but if it was there and if it was, I don't know, this feels like a winter beer to me. It's good.
Yeah, I feel like it needs something else. You know what I mean?
It needs chocolate and peanut butter.
Chocolate. All right. Take out the coffee next time. Put the chocolate and peanut butter in there.
Mm-hmm. Right. We'll call it ridiculous AF.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to go with a solid, probably just like 6.7. I like it just a little bit better than what you do. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, maybe I want to change mine. Maybe I like mine 6.8. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Can't change.
Yeah. No changes. Okay. Well, thanks for bringing it. I think you have a couple more out there in the cooler.
Let the guys try them. I thought it was a cool can. I mean, the artwork looks pretty badass on that.
I do like the can.
Yeah.
The can is cool. It's cool.
If anything, you would look badass just drinking this. Just
yeah. Okay. All right. Speaking of
I remember back in the day when we saw artwork, like just the stickers on cans.
Jan would give it so
Jan
much
just
shit.
like, oh no, trash. Yeah, you can't even invest into making like cans. You got to put stickers on them. Just trash that. No, I don't want that.
Yeah. I don't think it makes any difference. I think it is what it is. But speaking of cool beers, I was going to put this out there real quick. Our Christmas episode where we do multiple beer reviews in one episode is coming up probably in the next month, I would say. Probably about 4 to 5 weeks from now, we will be recording that episode. And how it works, if you were not listening last year, each one of us usually brings a beer in, a holiday beer, and we review all the beers.
Mm-hmm.
It makes for a fun night. If any listeners want to send in a beer or even just suggest a beer, I don't know if you just suggested if we'll definitely be able to get it or not, but if you send in a beer, we will review it on the show. If that's hard for you, you could always, we have a Specs, we have a Total Wine right here in Pearland, we can go pick it up too. I thought it'd be cool to get some from listeners that we could try on that show.
That would be badass.
I had this thought of it today.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're in Pearland. Look it up. There's a Total Wine and a Specs beer, wine, and more, whatever it's called. I don't know, Specs liquor store.
Yeah. What about this? Like, how do we? I was thinking about how do we get the people more involved in the beer review? Like, what if on top of that, or just not just this, but any beer review? What if we could have listeners send us their beer review?
Oh, I love that.
Send us like do a TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is. Yep. Shoot us the link. We'll flash it up on the
or even just a voicemail. Either way,
or voicemail. Yeah, perfect. I mean, and we'll put it on the show and let you guys be a part of the show. I mean, I'd love to love to see that.
Yeah, especially if you send in a beer for us to try, because then we can make sure we try the same one that you review. But even outside of that, if you want to review one maybe that we've already done, maybe we can share that too. That'd be cool. Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do that. More beer, the better. Right? That's a thing. I think that's the saying somewhere. Anyways, anything else you want to say about this beer?
No, I might have some words after I drink this whole thing. And I think this is going to be one of those beers, once you get like close to the bottom of it, you know what I mean? Almost done. You're like, man, that was really good beer. Like, it's kind of just, maybe it's just the alcohol talking.
Yeah, I feel like it might be.
Are you almost finished with yours?
No, I'm still pretty full.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we're about the same here.
It's like, what was it? You can't judge a book by its cover. I mean, you're only just drinking the cover, and then all of a sudden, you really just haven't got into the meat of the meat and potatoes of the drink. I'm just bullshitting.
Yeah, that's deep. I don't know.
Let's move on. Moving on.
Deep shit.
Yes.
Okay. With that, we've talked about turkey. We've talked some news. We've talked some Frank. We've talked some beer. Shall we talk about some barbecue fails?
Let's do it.
It's just the two of us here, but our buddy Matt that usually likes to introduce or read the barbecue fails for us that couldn't be here. I think he recorded a barbecue fail for us that somebody sent in via the emails or somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think Raul is going to share that for us, maybe.
Got another barbecue fail for you guys here. So he says, just found your podcast. Want to say you're doing a great job. Anyway, saw you're looking for some barbecue fails and wanted to add mine from this weekend. So we're a new team, and we attended our second KCBS comp this past weekend at Red, White, and Q in New Jersey. Rained all set up Friday night. We got everything set up, tan up, canopy, smokers, charcoal in the dry spots, relaxed, and went to bed. Woke up to our 20 by 10 canopy collapsed all over our stuff. Luckily, our charcoal stayed dry, but it was still raining and we had ribs and chicken to prep. Got the canopy rigged up, enough to last through the rest of the rain, and got cooking. Had the ribs of my charbroiled Grand Champ that I've had for years, never had a problem. I had decided to clean it for the first time leading up to this weekend so I wouldn't have any problems. Well, I threw a piece of wood on it to raise the temps a little bit before I put the chicken on. Look back 10 minutes later and the whole right side of the smoker is on fire. Quickly pulled the ribs off, choked everything down, got it back under control, and finished the cook. But man, that was a hectic morning for our second ever non-local comp. And we didn't come in last, so I count that as a win. Brian from Backwoods BBQ.
All right. Appreciate it, Brian from Backwoods BBQ.
Yeah. So he was sharing a barbecue fail, but he counted it as a win.
I like how he put that in there. Like, hey, it wasn't like I didn't come in last, so it's not a fail. But no, I think, Mother Nature, she threw a wrench in things, and that's one of those things we always talk about. You got to adapt and overcome the issues that you face on the comp trail, because
that's the bigger thing.
It's something's going to have it. I mean, I don't think I've been. It's a handful of cook-offs that I've been to over my tenure of where everything just went smooth.
Right. It's pretty rare that you're like, oh, it's great weather. Everything went the way it was supposed to.
It's always something.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went one where we went to, is it here in I think it was Pasadena, Texas. I don't remember which cook-off it was.
Pouring rain.
Mm-hmm. We had one where we went inside to do judging for, I can't remember what category it was, or maybe it was a cook's meeting. We go in to get our information, and we come out, and there's apparently it's just a big, huge storm just ripped up and just picked up everybody's canopies and just tossed them 100 yards away.
Oh,
and they're all mangled up, just sitting in this death row of tents. And they're like, okay, wow, now what do we do? And so everybody had to go buy new tents. And so something like that's always going to happen. Something's going to break down. You're going to have a flat tire. It's we did that one cook-off that could have been hugely disastrous for me and John, that we drove 100 miles with that dragging a barbecue pit, and it was never attached to the.
That was bad.
Look, the good Lord was on our side that day, but it was one of those pit maker pits, and
didn't have the pin in.
It didn't have the pin. I mean,
Yes.
it fit over the ball, but there was a little pin.
It was clasped, but there was no locking pin.
Correct.
Went over that speed bump.
We got all the way there into this park in about 40 feet
Dude,
from
you could see the campsite.
where
we
the
were set
campsite
up.
is. We go over a speed bump, and the
Comes
damn
off.
pit comes off the hitch.
That sucker could have passed me on the freeway. I had my kids in the car, man.
Yeah, no, I
That
know.
was scary.
Yeah. So, hey, FYI, go check that. Make sure that's the first thing you check.
I check that every time.
Exactly.
Tell you what.
But hey, congrats. I know you got your choice of any SUCKLEBUSTERS seasoning that you want to get.
Or?
SUCKLEBUSTERS. Everybody wants some
There it is.
SUCKLEBUSTERS.
What was his name again? Brian
From Backwoods BBQ.
Okay. Yeah, hey, congratulations. That is fantastic. What else we got? Anything else? Anything else you wanna yap at real quick?
No, I think that's all I got. I mean, obviously, this is a sad part of the episode for us because we're ending it. But obviously, the listeners, you can just skip next and you can go right into the next episode.
Right.
So,
or the last episode if you haven't heard that one.
honestly, hey, it's been great talking barbecue.
Peace.
As we close out, big thanks to SmokerBuilder.com and the NBBQA for their unwavering support.
Absolutely. And cheers to Barbecue News Magazine, SUCKLEBUSTERS, and Dow Strong Knives for their contributions.
And Yeti always has our back, and Cooling Nation ensures our drinks stay perfectly cold.
Lastly, props to Cambro Manufacturing and, of course, the Spicy Nut, the Chicks of Smoke Seasoning. Thanks to all for powering this show.
Until next time, keep smoking.